Hello everyone, we are Angel.
Hi, I am Hatsiri Serafin.
And Mayeli, 7th semester accounting student.
And today we are going to present a topic that is fundamental to understand how a country's economy is sustained in the face of external and internal situations. International reserves.
We are going to explain what they are, how they work, why they are important, how they are formed, who manage them, and how they are used in practice.
By the end of this video, you should have a full understanding of the concept, just as required in our international trade class.
Let's begin with the formal definition. International reserves are financial assets in foreign currencies or metals, managed by a country's central bank.
In simple terms, they are like the emergency savings. A country has to deal with financial crisis and meet its international commitments.
Its main components include hard currencies such as the dollar, euro, pound, yen, and yuan. Gold, which is considered a reserve asset. Special drawing rights (SDRs) issued by IMF. Bonds, notes, and other financial instruments issued by governments or international institutions.
These assets must meet three criteria: security, liquidity, and modest returns. The goal is not to generate large profits, but rather to protect value and ensure immediate ability.
Why do reserves exist? Historically, reserves emerged as a form of backing for the international monetary system.
After World War II, during the creation of the Bretton Woods system, countries began accumulating reserves to stabilize their currencies.
And although the Bretton Woods system no longer exists, the idea if maintaining reserves remain necessary for countries to protect themselves from economic shocks.
In almost all countries, reserves are managed by the central bank. For example, in the US, it's the Federal Reserve, and in Mexico, it's at the Bank of Mexico, Banxico.
The reason is that the central bank is an autonomous institution whose main objective is to maintain economic and monetary stability.
Central banks establish very strict policies on how the investment reserves because they must be able at any time.
Function 1. Stabilizing the exchange rate. When the local currency devalues too rapidly, the central bank can use reserves to sell dollars and buy the local currency.
This helps slow down the depreciation and maintain internal price stability.
Reserves don't just serve as savings, they fulfill several crucial functions.
For example, food, medicine, fuel, or machinery.
When a country has sufficient reserves, international investors see it as stable and low risk.
Function 4. Made in international obligations. Reserves are used to pay external debt, interest, and trade and financial obligations.
Function 5. Mitigating financial crisis. In times of recession, international crisis, or capital flight, reserves act as a cushion.
Reserves also support domestic liquidity. If banks need dollars, the central bank can provide them temporarily.
How are reserves obtained or accumulated? Reserves are formed when foreign currency enters the country. The main sources are
Number 1. Trade balance. When a country exports more than imports, more dollars enter the country.
Companies from other countries invest capital, which enters as foreign currency.
3. Remittance. In countries like Mexico, remittance sent by immigrants represents billions of dollars annually.
Number 4. International loans. When a country receives financing, some of it can be allocated to reserves.
The central bank buys foreign currency from commercial banks and adds it to reserves.
How much should a country have in reserves? Well, the truth is there isn't a exact rule, but there are indicators.
One of them is to cover 3 months of imports according to the IMF.
Another rule is to cover 100% of short-term external debt.
However, many countries seek to have a longer buffer. For example, China has more than 3 trillions in reserves. Similarly,
In contrast, countries with crises like Argentina have seen the reserves fall well below recommended levels.
In Mexico's case, international reserves exceed $200 billion of dollars.
Mexico has managed to maintain a stable level thanks to trade, remittance, and foreign investment.
An important point is the IMF's flexible credit line, which acts as an additional safety net in the event of a crisis.
Mexico also publishes weekly updates of the reserve levels, which ensure transparency.
Having reserves also generates debate. Not everything is positive.
First, the opportunity cost. A country could invest that money in infrastructure, education, or technology.
Second, reserves are invested very conservatively so their returns are low.
There, if a country mines these reserves, it can lose international credibility.
Fourth, receipts cannot replace a sound economic policy.
International reserves are essential for countries to withstand global economic change.
They allow for exchange rate stability, investors' confidence, and the ability to meet international obligations.
And although accumulating them has cost, they are an indispensable tool in the global world.
Thank you for
Thank you
watching
for
this
Thank you
watching
for
video.
this
watching
video.
this
Thank you for
video.
watching